You know, I've been searching for a trophy whitetail ever since I started hunting at age 12. A lot of hours have been spent up in a tree, waiting, watching, and always coming up empty handed. But I do know that one day I will get an opportunity, whether it's with a bow or with my grandpa's old Remington, to line up a big one in the sights and pull the trigger. And when that finally happens, the feeling is it's going to be incredible. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Northern Wisconsin Outdoor Adventures. I'm Nate Francis, and in this video, I'm going to recap what's happened throughout the 2015 deer season. I actually got to hunt quite a bit this year because I've been able to hunt in Marinette County and stay close to home here and hunt with my buddy Alex. So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about what's been going on and how we've been doing this season. So after that initial September hunt, I didn't get to hunt very much the rest of the year in September, and actually throughout the beginning of October I stayed out of the woods. We got several pictures of bucks that I would consider shooters on our trail cameras. We had a plethora of pictures every week that we would get, but they'd all be during nighttime, and we weren't getting any day activity, even on some of the cameras that we were placing on trails where I was hoping to cut these deer off as they made their way from the bedding area to the feeding area, which are our food plots. But again, early October, not much was going on, and I didn't actually get to hunt until later, October 23rd or the 24th. That weekend I got out and I saw a few does. I sat stands that I've sat years previous, and again, just not much rutting activity yet. It wasn't in full swing. And then November came along, and it's a hunter's paradise, hunter's dream to hunt that first week, the first 2 weeks of November, when that rut in northern Wisconsin is really kicking in. I was actually lucky enough to hunt Halloween night. Unfortunately, after looking at some trail camera pictures and having some promising reasons to sit a stand down by a river, I sat that stand Halloween night and didn't see anything. Then the next morning, I hunted one of the stands that we have placed on a trail, again to try to cut these deer off as they're moving from their bedding area to the feeding area. If you watch the following clips, you'll see that I had a little bit of success on the morning of November 1st. This hunt took a little bit to get going, but once the action heated up, it was non-stop. After a first hour of the hunt, this doe appeared out of nowhere, but she wouldn't stay long because she eventually got spooked by a deer that even surprised me. I tried to react quick enough and grab my bow off the bow hook to line this buck up in my sights, but he just ran through too fast. Just behind that bigger buck, a smaller buck made his way into the area trying to catch a whiff of the doe's scent. He methodically made his way through the area trying to catch on to the doe's trail, and it was an awesome experience to see this young buck's nose at work, because after a short while he caught on to the doe's exact trail as she made her way out of the area. This hunt was full of action, but left me wondering if I missed out on a big opportunity. Now, after reviewing our trail camera pictures, I know I had seen that buck before. It was a pretty big 5-pointer. It just had two main points and one small sticker of a brow tine. After seeing that buck, I really didn't know if I should have tried to stop him and pull the trigger. But at the end of the hunt, and after talking with my dad and the other landowners, it was a good decision not to take that buck. It was a decent sized body, not a huge deer, but it had a decent sized body. I was happy that I passed on it. Hopefully next year it'll get a little bit better antler growth, more tines. But again, early parts of November, that was it. That's all we saw. I came back about a week or two later and we reviewed trail camera pictures of that first week of November. And of course, the day after I left, November 2nd, the 3rd, and even into the 4th, we got just so many pictures of the bucks that we had been seeing, and they actually were during the daytime at our stands, and that was really frustrating. But you know what? That's hunting. You can't always be there when the deer are in the highest peak of their rutting activity. Better luck next year, I guess. And the rest of November, I didn't see very much up at the Marinette County property, but we did have some interesting encounters. It was the middle of November, and I went down to Stangleville in Kewaunee County to hunt with my friend Alex again, and we had a great encounter with a big 10-point buck, and just was the greatest example of how these deer are acting during the peak of the rut. Check it out here, folks. Buck behind it. Okay. Ooh, it's a big one. That's a good buck. That's a buck. That's a good buck. It was great to see those deer moving. It was great to get that type of activity on film. I was just hoping that either he or I would get a shot at one of these bucks within range, whether it was during the gun season or again during the late part of the bow season. So opening day comes along. I'm sitting a stand down in a river bottom where we had some buck activity, not as much as I would have liked. I had a good feeling about it. Opening day, I got skunked. I didn't see one single deer, and I sat all day long on opening day. Unfortunately, that's just the way it went. My dad and my brother were sitting two different stands on the property. They both saw the two same deer. Opening day for us was really, really slow. The next morning, I hunted a stand and didn't see anything again. But after that hunt, we grabbed our set of trail camera pictures again to see what's been moving the last few nights and see if we can formulate a plan. And we came across a lot of doe pictures, a lot of small buck pictures, but one picture in particular caught my eye. It was a pretty nice big buck. Couldn't count exactly how many points. It looked like it might have been a 10-point buck, and he was just sticking his head turned away on the left side of the image. That got me thinking. Where did this buck come in? And I was trying to figure out where I could go to cut that buck off, because I was dead set on the fact that I can't wait for the deer to come to me anymore. I need to go and get these deer. I need to find them. I need to do an active hunting practice and go and get these deer. On the Sunday evening hunt, I literally just took a chair and just tucked it in next to about a 10-foot tall balsam fir in a stand of red pines, and I placed myself overlooking two trails. I couldn't see about 45 yards in front of me, and then it was too thick. I'd never be able to make a shot even with a rifle. Believe it or not, I got out in the stand at about 2 o'clock, and I sat for an hour. And after an hour, I heard a crunch to the southeast. That was where a main trail went, so I kept my eye on that trail, and I heard another step, and I knew, okay, there was a deer coming. I had my 30-06 Remington in between my legs, and I grabbed it, and I remember when I looked to my right at that trail again, all of a sudden I saw two legs move. All of a sudden, whatever that deer was, it bobbed its head, and I saw a big rack on top of its head. I grabbed my gun, and as slow as I can, I lift it up, and I reach it and put it down onto my lap, and I start using the swivel of the chair to turn to my right. I just kept saying to myself, please don't see me, please don't see me, don't see me, because this buck, like I said, is already at about 40 yards. I get straight on with the buck. I raise my rifle. He was facing me straight on, quartering to his left, so I centered the scope right on his chest, a little bit to his right side, because I knew he was quartering to the left a little bit. I took a deep breath, and I squeezed the trigger, and that thing ran about 5 yards and collapsed, and then kind of just scurried off into the woods, and my adrenaline was pumping. I've been waiting for a moment like that for over 10 years to get another opportunity at a buck. After that, I got on the phone. I called my dad, who was not too far away. I called my brother, and I said, hey, I think I just shot a big buck. You guys are going to give me probably a hard time for this, but I could not, as hard as I tried, I could not get the kill shot on film. But you know what? I think if I would have had my tripod out and I would have messed with that camera, that deer was so close, I consciously thought, I don't want to mess this up. You don't get these opportunities very much, and I didn't want to mess it up. And I knew as long as I got it on the ground and I could get footage that way, that would be great for me and I'd be very happy. So anyway, we met back at the cabin, shedded a few layers because we knew we might be in for a long track. I felt like it was a really good shot and didn't know what to expect. But anyway, we did the proper things. We grabbed all the gear, and then we went back to where I shot the buck, and then the camera was rolling. Welcome everybody. We're back to the scene of the crime. Nate Francis here. I was just tucked right in front of a pine, overlooking a couple trails. And now we're gonna go try and find him. I know where I shot him. I saw him fall. We smell some dead deer scent in the air, baby. And now we're gonna go try and find him, see if there's any type of trail. Follow along. Hi. And he ran in this way. Get him walking it. Yeah, he got it all the way from the top. This is the worst. I don't. I got him. Make sure. Right there. He's right there, you see him? Okay, I'm gonna walk up on him. Get it on film. You got him. Oh man, holy shit. Nathan? Oh, that's the biggest buck I've ever seen. You see what I'm seeing, folks? Let me just check him. Oh man. Check it out. Get it on the deer. Nice. He's down. He's down for the count, folks. We're gonna get him into a better spot and get some footage, alright? Stay with me, baby. Hey, yeah! Well, folks, it wasn't much of a tracking job. We just dragged it out a little bit to get it in a clear spot so I could get it nice on video for you. Northern Wisconsin Outdoor Adventures. It started in 2011. The year is 2015. It is November 22nd, Sunday of opening weekend. And I laid the smack down on a 10-point Northwoods swamp donkey whitetail, baby. And you know what? This is a pretty special one because ever since I started Northern Wisconsin Outdoor Adventures, I've been busting my ass to manage this land and to get deer like this to come onto our property. Is what I'm doing working? I can't say that for a fact, but all I know is that I got my hands on some Northwoods whitetail antler, a 10-pointer, and all the work has finally paid off. My dad and I and Matt, we work hard, we get this stuff done, and I wouldn't have wanted to do this on any weekend besides opening weekend here in Amber with you guys.
I love you, kid.
Yep, so give me some.
Atta baby. Nice shooting.
We finally got it done. The hard work begins now, but I can't wait to get this on the wall and send pictures to everybody. And I want to thank everybody for watching all the videos that I posted. You've seen a lot of does just eating corn. Heads up, heads down, not doing much, not a lot of bucks. I wish I could have got the shot on film. Hey, but second best thing is getting this bad boy on the ground. And you're looking at him right here. So thanks again to everybody. We're going to do the hard work right now. And stay tuned for more hunting from Northern Wisconsin Outdoor Adventures.
Atta baby. Atta baby.